Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. What's really needed to stimulate the economy? Part 1. Now, let me be clear. Let me state it clearly. I'm not a professional economist. I'm just giving my opinion on here, my viewpoint, and just of someone who makes money. See, I don't get into all that complicated stuff, numbers and all these formulas. I'm just thinking, okay, how we going to make money out here? That's how I started learning about economics anyway, to figure out how I was going to get money in my pocket, right? Now, this is when I'm recording this, I had received my stimulus check, and I was like, oh, okay, good. Okay, got more stuff for my savings. I think I purposely kept out a little bit just to put a little bit back into the economy, but it's going into my savings. And the only time they'll see that money back is if I use that money to pay my taxes next year. But otherwise, I was like, oh, okay, thanks. And, it's a good thing. I think a lot of people actually needed that. They did. They needed money to catch up bills, to buy food, all of those things. Those were very important. But I don't know about it stimulating the economy long term. I'm just going to be real with that. Because here's the issue. Okay, you give people that money short term. Okay, yeah, and you put some money out there, but if you really want to stimulate the economy, that money has to be long term. If they're not talking about a universal basic income and they're still back and forth about it, at this point, I haven't come out with a definitive stance on universal basic income. For those who don't know, that's paying everybody a set amount of money every month. I still haven't. I haven't researched it enough to really look at it. And I don't reject something just out of a knee-jerk reaction like, oh no, people won't work, or accept it like, oh yeah, that's great money. I have to research it. I have to look at it, look at a lot of factors and everything. But that's just an aside. What I wanted to get into is what's really needed to stimulate the economy. Okay, yeah, people getting that money short term, and then people getting an increase on their unemployment. But see, we have a major issue out here. One, that stimulus is a one-time payment. It will run out for most people. Now, you get a small percentage of people who will use it to invest in something. Some people might be just enough to start a business, and I'll get into that in the next episode. But let's be real, majority of people, they're going to spend it. And indeed, a lot of people are going to spend that money on things that are not related to survival. When people spend it on food, okay, but some people they're going to put some money down on some cars. They're going to buy a big screen TV. They're going to buy some nice drip, some clothes or something. Let's just be real with it. And, it's their right to do that, but it's not always a long-term thing. It's a one-time thing. See, understand something in business, and one of the reasons I'm successful. The reason I'm successful in business is not based on one-time sales. Let me say it again. It's not based on one-time sales. My success in business comes from two things: subscribers, paying subscribers on my other platforms, and consistent sales. In other words, for the economy to really get going, people can't just get that one-time payment and think everything's going to be all right. We need consistency. And one of the ways that consistency can come about if people actually take the jobs that are out there. And that's the main thing I wanted to touch on. There are a lot of jobs. People complaining there were a lot of jobs knocked out during the lockdowns and anything. But here's the thing. During those lockdowns, there were still people hiring. There were plenty of hiring sites. I didn't need anything, but I was driving around. I was seeing all types of stuff. Because even during the lockdown, there was still plenty of essential businesses. Think about that. One of the main ones is grocery stores. And actually, it was a conversation in a grocery store that inspired this particular podcast. But think about it. These grocery stores were still open. Food processing plants were still open. Yeah, there were some tough ones, and yeah, there were some tough things, but they were still open. A lot of stuff was still working. A lot of the restaurants were still open. Yeah, they were at reduced staff and everything, but they were still open. But the bottom line is there were plenty of jobs. And see, I got friends a lot of friends who work in local stores, grocery stores, department stores, small stores. And what they were saying is, we need help. We need help. And they were hiring. But see, when people were getting this extra money for not just the stimulus, but extra money in their unemployment, people weren't going. Because they were like, quite frankly, there were many people thinking, hey, I make more money being unemployed. And yeah, that was good for them short term, but long term, that's not any good. See, if we really want to stimulate the economy, people need to take these jobs. Now, let's be real. I can understand if somebody don't want to take a warehouse job or a grocery store job because they sincerely overqualified. I get that. But let's be real now. Let's be real. A lot of these jobs, somebody can walk off the street for most of them. Let's keep it 1,000. Let's keep it 1 million. A lot of these jobs ain't that complicated. Somebody couldn't take them. You know, like I was talking with a buddy who works at a grocery store, and she said their grocery store is just now getting to full capacity. She said a lot of people were coming for an interview just to say they interviewed it to keep their unemployment going. They wouldn't take the job. And she's saying they just getting to a point, but, 3 people walk away from the job, they in trouble. Then and you look at a lot of jobs, there's a lot of jobs, a lot of places still open that they still need people. I was thinking about a Home Depot near me. Yeah, they should give me money for a shout out, but they would be crowded in there. So they had openings. There were warehouses hiring and stuff, And there's still construction, even during the lockdowns. I was still driving past some road workers, people, fixing roads and doing work like that. These jobs are still there. What we need is not so much the stimulus, but the president needs to encourage people, look, take these jobs that are there. Now, when these jobs are filled, when they totally filled, okay, that's a different story then. But a lot of these jobs aren't filled. See, that's the things now. Okay, say like a young guy, say a young guy, say they get a job on that $15 an hour minimum wage they were trying to push, and that's a whole other thing. I'll be on the record. I'm not a big fan of that. And let me just say real quick, because I know somebody asked why. Because the whole minimum wage is supposed to be for people starting out. We ain't talking about for experienced people. Yeah, experienced people need to get the money. If they start a job experience. But somebody who doesn't have training in that field, they need to start out lower. Okay, I had to get that off my chest. Right? But say a young man, he starts out on a job, getting that 15, equivalent job, getting about $30,000 a year. That actually stimulates the economy because say he starts off that job, he living at home with his parents. All right, he getting that job, he feeling good. Okay, he said, shoot, he might have been using his parents' car to get to work or a bus to get to work. All of a sudden, he can afford a car and maybe a small apartment. You get in that apartment, he probably, some people still got TVs. You got to buy a TV, right? Got to buy an appliance. Got to buy a bed. Even if he don't want a bed, he got to buy an air mattress. Boom, he's spending that money. He got to have food in his refrigerator. He ain't eating at his parents' house, so he got to go out. He's spending money and stuff. Boom. He might want to sit on some furniture. He get a couch. Boom, furniture. He want to wash himself, so he needs soap. He needs towels. All of this. That's stimulating the economy. When people go out, that stimulates the economy, like a home, getting homes, getting stuff, standing on their 2 feet, having jobs. They got to buy other stuff. They buy more. That gets the economy going. But when you get some kid who's like, well, you know what? I'm just going to get this unemployment. He don't leave the house. Which means he don't need to buy a couch. He don't need to buy food. His parents got that. Indeed, there's some young people, they living in the house, they don't really spend their own money. If you want to stimulate, encourage the jobs, that's the key. That's the key, and it's very simple. It's not complicated or something. Encourage these people to get the jobs that are there. Then when these jobs are out, then you worry about, okay, maybe they need some payments extra and stuff. But the jobs are there. Even during the lockdown, the jobs were there. A lot of young people especially need to get it out. Or if you are older, say for whatever reason, I was working on those regular jobs and got laid off because of the lockdown. I done went right to a warehouse or a grocery store or something. I found something. And I've known older people who've done that. You know, that's how to stimulate it. People need to actually work on the jobs that are there. So, anyway, that's something I want y'all to think about that, you know? And you know why you're getting those jobs, to make that money. So let's go make that money.